Yo, how we doing, guys? How are we doing? Happy Tuesday. Happy Tuesday. We're going to continue work on the Sanguinor here. Going to continue work. Started doing the edge highlighting just to get an idea of where I want to brighten areas and where I want to darken areas. So we'll keep doing that. That's what we're going to do. And then at, I don't know, around an hour's time, maybe an hour and 10 minutes time, we are going to have episode 5 of the Road to Arc. Yo, Wombat, how we doing? I believe we are also live on Instagram. I think we should be. But I'm not sure if I set it up right. It says that I'm streaming, so we'll see. Anyway. I know, Ayla. Yeah, we haven't been live on TikTok in almost a year, but I've got a new streaming program that allows me to stream on multiple platforms. So we're across 5 different platforms right now, at least 4 that I know of, and Instagram should be another one. Oh, you did the thing. You're going to have to send me a pic, Wombat. You're going to have to send me a pic, dude. TikTok looks like it's jumping around a little bit, though. Eventually, Lockie's going to move out, and I'm going to be able to have a cable directly into my computer, so hopefully that makes things even better. It's in the Road to Arc. Cool. We will check out the Road to Arc for sure. You did used to watch every night, Ayla. Yeah, I remember. We're doing pretty good. How are you? Yeah, TikTok's... Is the connection over on TikTok wigging out, or is it just me, guys? Looks like it's a bit jumpy. Hey Nate, how you doing? Hey Nate, could you do us a favor? Check Instagram and see if we're live over on Insta. I don't know if I can check it. It says that we are. No, it should be music. It's just very low. Should be music. Yeah. Look at an itchy nose. It says it's not live on Insta. Okay. That's interesting. It says that we are, and I did all the stream key stuff. I might not be able to do it. So Instagram is asking me to do a stream key every single stream. So yeah, all right. That's something I need to work on then. That's okay. That's okay. Actually, I might try just one more time. Do this. Oh, that's the stream key. What's that doing in there? Like this. Stream software is best, depends how to stream. Go live. Let me go like this then. Let me see if this works. Let's save that. And then I have connected to the streaming software, you silly thing. Maybe there you go. No. Alright, it's a future. It is a future Justin issue. That's okay. Thunder Pigments, thank you very much for the follow over on TikTok. Appreciate it. Appreciate it. Ash, how you doing, my dude? How the Astra Militarum going?
Waiting for the time to pass you by. Hope the winds of change will change your mind. I could give 1,000 reasons why, and I know you, and you got to make it on your own, but we don't have to grow up, we can stay forever young. Living on my sofa, drinking rum and
Slowly.
cola underneath
Progress
the
is
rising
progress,
sun.
my dude. Progress is progress.
I could give 1,000 reasons why, but you're going, and you know that all you have to do is stay a minute. Just take your time. The clock is ticking, so stay. All you have to do is wait a second. Your hands on mine. The clock is ticking, so stay. Won't admit what I already know. I've never been the best at letting go. I don't wanna spend the night alone. Guess I need you, and I need to make it on my own, but I don't wanna grow up. We can stay forever young. Living on my sofa, drinking rum and cola underneath the rising sun. I could give
The paint scheme will go perfect with your custodies, Dave. This is gonna be a YouTube tutorial, my dude. This whole thing is gonna be a YouTube tutorial. Not for a few months, but it will be up. It will be up on our YouTube.
So stay. All you have to do is wait a second. Your hands on mine. The clock is ticking. So stay.
Or you can just message me on Insta and I can give you the recipe.
All you have to do is stay. All you have to do is stay. So stay. Yeah.
Fingers crossed Discord plays nice
All you have to do is stay.
this week. Because last week, oh, it would have been 3 weeks ago, I think it was.
So stay.
We,
Who is wait?
or 2 weeks. But anyway,
The clock
it was like 15-20 minute wait for you guys in between.
all you have to do is stay.
Nearly 2 months painting. Nice. Welcome back to the hobby. Welcome back. Welcome back. What have you started painting? Thunder Pigments. What's your faction? Hey Marvin, how you doing? So I thought we are going to be live on Insta, but it turns out we're not. It says that we are streaming to Instagram, but we mustn't. I need to look at that. I need to look at that. It's lying. Yeah, I know. It says it right here. Go to Instagram and edit title streaming. It might not be the way forward though, because it's asking me to do a stream key every stream, so maybe we'll end up doing Facebook. Might end up doing Facebook Live as the fifth option. All you see is Rachel's cute doggos on Insta. Yeah, popping up heaps of pics of them. It's either cute doggo pics or topless new boyfriend pics. I feel like maybe I wear my shirt too often, right? Why I keep going to gym? Why I keep eating chicken and rice? One more time. You like how secretive the Dark Angels are? They are pretty cool. And they've got some sick models too. Yo, Underdog Painting, what's happening, my dude? How you been? Got some record numbers. We had like 6 people over on TikTok. That's wild numbers nowadays. Tiny, my dude, how we going? I'm doing alright, man. I'm doing alright. Started a little bit early today, finished a little bit early. Went to the barbers. Dude did a shit job on my beard. Like, I'm gonna have to do it again. Not happy. That's right. How come we're back on TikTok? Because I bought a membership to a restreaming service, Underdog, and it allows me to stream on 5 different platforms. So TikTok just naturally seemed to be one of the selections. I don't think we'll ever get huge numbers over on TikTok because we'll be talking about other platforms, which they really don't like, but it is what it is. Doesn't really matter. So we're live on Kick, Twitch, YouTube, and TikTok right now. And I did try to go live on Instagram, but it didn't work. It didn't work. I get classic streamer brain when I'm edge highlighting. I'll be like edge highlight on a leg, and then I'll be like, ooh, I need to edge highlight the hand, and then I'll be like, shit, I got to edge highlight somewhere else. Oh, you missed out on the Inner Circle Task Force. Yeah, it's a good box. Yeah, so we'll be back on TikTok for at least a year. We'll definitely be making the most of the restream program because it wasn't cheap, especially when the amount it was, I didn't realize it was actually USD as well, so that sucked learning that out. The new Angel stuff is sick. They did my boys, the Sanguinary Guard, dirty, but I don't know if you've seen it. I fixed them up. All you had to do was add one of their old backpacks, and they're done. Like that's all they had to do. They didn't have to do, like, they already had the STL for that. Like they already had the STL for that. Anyway, what are you gonna do? Nothing a Red Bull can't fix. Exactly. You just got to give them wings. Just give them their wings. Yeah, see, this is what I'm talking about. I haven't even finished edge highlighting these fingers, and I went to edge highlight the backpack there. The new Wolves, yeah, it'll be sick to see what they come out with. I've heard rumors of a new Aryak Rockfist, which would be awesome. Will he be the first named Terminator that's been redone? Probably, yeah. Hearts it. Model's always looking pro. I appreciate it, dude. Thank you. It's very kind. Very kind. Yeah, scalpers in the hobby not great, you know? Yeah. So there's, what I mean is, I don't think we've had any named Terminator redone yet. So we've had the regular Terminators, and we've had two captains. Had two captains created, but we haven't had a named guy get a resculpt yet. So I think he might be the first. I think Aryak might be the first. The secret level episode was wicked. Loved it. I loved the story it told with absolutely minimal lines in it too. What's the word I'm looking for? Glatius, thank you very much for the follow. How you doing? Voice lines? Is it voice lines? Yeah. Story was so good. Yeah, I'm pumped. I'm pumped for some Assault Terminators. Dialogue. That's it. Thank you, Gladius. Dialogue. Dialogue is what I'm looking for. Oh, Belial. Yes, Sullivan. Completely forgot about Belial. Very cool model. I think that model's sick. I love the size of him too. I really like how they, how ornate they made his armor as well. I sort of had a feeling there was one. Yeah, sick model, sick model. Yeah, definitely hold off. Definitely hold off. Fish one, thank you for the follow. Yeah, definitely hold off on Assault Termies. Wait until they drop some new ones for sure. For sure. Yeah, that secret level. Look, I think we're just going to continue to get more and more Warhammer in pop culture now, which is sick. It's fantastic. Tell you, I was looking at this guy the other day. Why is this guy on a 40 mil base? Why didn't they put the Sanguinor on a 50? Like we're not gonna get Sanguinius for years. You wouldn't think. Do I have old models from early editions? Yeah. I don't have any of this stuff from like 4th. I got into the hobby in 6th edition, so I've got some 6th edition stuff, like Firstborn and stuff like that. I'd love to see even just like an ongoing series like the Hammer and Bolter stuff, you know? Like think about how well some of those anime series are going, like Invincible and things like that. Imagine that with Warhammer, with just like an ongoing storyline. I don't think that would be unreasonable to achieve. What edition was 2014? Maybe, when did I get into it? 14 years ago. And that was, what are we, 20? So maybe that was 7th edition, 2014, potentially. Zombified, how we doing? Huge wasted opportunity. Yeah, I'm not a huge fan of the Sanguinor model. It's not, I don't think it was a miss. Like, I don't think it was a massive miss. They could have done more with it. It's better than what they did with the Sanguinary Guard, though. 7th edition? I said 7. Got it. CGI? I like anime over CGI sometimes, though. I feel like CGI, especially like a lot of the Marvel movies nowadays, with the budgets they have, how shit it is. I like myself a little bit of anime, you know? I know you from TikTok, Zombified. I know you from TikTok. Yeah, we're everywhere. We're everywhere. Yeah, it'd be nice if it was a centerpiece model for sure. I mean, he still sort of is. He does stand above Dante when you put him next to Dante. He sits up a bit higher, but he's not the same as like a Primarch level, which he could have been, and he sort of should have been. Should have been. Interrogator was good. I haven't watched all the Hammer and Bolter stuff. The one with Lucius was sick, or Lucius, however you want to say it. However you want to say it. Yeah, agreed. Should have been a 50, should have been a bit more. For sure. Come on, focus. Death Company's what got you into Warhammer 40k? For the new Death Company models, even though they're just an upgrade pack, they're pretty cool. I'll watch if I've got some time somewhere. I'll watch because I've recently finally got my app all sorted. I had massive issues with it going through Apple, which was stupid, and then yeah, I finally rectified all my issues. Yeah, I've heard. Last time I heard, the Amazon series that Cavill's doing is going to be based on an Inquisitor. I think. Death Company Thunderhammers. Yeah, you can't have Thunderhammers. Can you have Thunderhammers? I know you definitely have Power Fists in the Eviscerators. Maybe you can have Thunderhammers as well. I think we'll get either a Chaos Cult or a Gene Stealer Cult as the bad guys. Yeah, I don't think we'll see any Space Marines in it. I think it'll just be like a street level type of series, if that makes sense. You know what I mean? Like, so Space Marines would be like the Avengers and all that type of stuff, whereas this will be more like Daredevil and the Punisher and the like the street level type of stuff. Yo, Thunder Pigments, welcome to Twitch. Yeah, the interface is a bit better over on Twitch. So in around about half an hour, hey Lothar, how you doing, man? In around about half an hour, we are going to be running an interview with last year's Best Painted winner, which is going to be really, really cool. Top Gaming Mark, thank you for the follow. You didn't miss the interview. No. It'll be around about 9:10 my time. So around 40 minutes, I'd say. Zombified over on TikTok and on YouTube. He's everywhere. It is quite warm in here, but I don't want to put the aircon on. Not until we play a bit of Space Marine. Multifaceted stream tonight. We're going to have painting, we're going to have an interview, we're going to have some Space Marine 2. You're a fan of my work? Thank you, Zombified. Thank you. I've not ever been to Warhammer World. I would love to go. It's a little bit far from Victoria in Australia. I would like to go one day though. I would like to go. My first overseas hobby goal is no retreat. That's my first overseas hobby goal. Whether that's no retreat in 2026 or no retreat in 2027, that is my goal. A 7-hour drive. Yeah. See, in Australia, man, because we're so big, you drive 7 hours and you're still in Australia. Well, I mean, you have to be because we're just an island, right? You wish you could be a good painter like me someday. The more you paint, the better you get. Warhammer World is the home of Warhammer, basically. Is it Nottingham, guys? Nottingham? It is not, yeah, cool. You haven't heard of Warhammer World? That's alright. No need to apologise. You got family in Sydney? I mean, Sydney's pretty close to Victoria. Short flight. Big old octopus. Thank you very much for the follow. Painting the inner circle companions, yeah, they're sick models. They are very, very cool models. Big old octopus with a sub as well. Thank you very much for the sub. Appreciate the support. We only need... What do we need? We only need 970 more subs and I could be able to do this full time. So thank you. We're getting closer. Inner Circle companions, yeah. I like, see, we've had this discussion before on stream. I do like regular intercessors. And the reason I like regular intercessors is because they make everything else look cooler. So I like having the different levels of miniatures. See you, Zombified. You want to start doing wet blending? I mean, the best time to start is sooner rather than later. Sooner you jump into it, the better. I used to wet blend my capes. I don't do that anymore. I do like hard colors and then use the airbrush to blend them. I have to go back and just do a recess shade over that rivet, but that's alright. Yeah, airbrushing for priming base coating is fantastic. It is very, very good.
Cigarettes in your Fendi coat, even though you don't even smoke. Always changing your access codes. Yeah, I can tell you no one knew. Yeah, you've been acting so conspicuous. You flip.
Dude's actually got quite a lot of edge highlights on him.
You're moving different when we making love. Baby, tell me, ooh, they love now. I wanna know the truth. They love now. I know it's someone new. You ain't gotta make it easy. Where you been sleeping? This shit is keeping me up at night. Just admit it. They love
Focus, please. I started with a crappy mid-tier. I started with the crappiest beginner airbrush you could get, and it's been bulletproof, dude. Haven't had any issues. I would almost say do the opposite. Don't go for a mid-tier. Get shit. Get confident at it. And then get yourself a good airbrush when you want to start doing like the like neater detailed stuff. Because if all you're using it for is priming and base coating, all you need is like a nice smooth, like a regular airbrush can do that. Just make sure it's got a moisture catch and get one of the air hoses that has a moisture catch on it as well. That's what I'd focus on, having the two moisture catches on your airbrush, one on your compressor, one on your hose. Low end store. I've just got, I think mine's just called a Delta, and I'll tell you what, it works fine. Like I just went into a model store and just bought it there, which is a lot cheaper than like the mid tier ones, that's for sure. But having said that, I don't prime with it. I base coat with it and do gradients here and there. It's not good enough to do anything other than that. But what I use it for, it works perfectly fine.
Check this out right here. Do wanna hate on us? Do need to ease on up? Do wanna act on gut, but do get shut like Flavor Shut? Chick say she ain't down with chick backstage when we in town. She like men on drums. She wanna hit and run. Yeah, that's the speed. That's what we do. That's who we be. BLACKEYADD to the E, then the A to the S. When we play, you shake your ass. Shake it, girl. Make sure you don't break it, girl. Turn it up. Turn it up. Come on, baby, just pump it.
Gonna have to highlight all in there. Unfortunately, it's gonna be tricky. Why did they make this all one piece? A lot of people from Space Marine 2 getting back into the hobby. Yeah, there'd be a whole bunch of new people too. Yo.
I took a pill in Ibiza to show Avicii I was cool. And when I finally got sober, felt 10 years older, but fuck it, it was something to do. I'm living out in LA. I drive a sports car just to prove I'm a
a real big baller cause I made $1 million and I spend it on girls and shoes. But you don't wanna be high like me, never really know why like me. You don't ever wanna step off that roller coaster and be all alone. And you don't wanna ride the bus like this, never know who to trust like this. You don't wanna be stuck up on that stage singing, stuck up on that stage singing.
I should just...
A sad soul, darling. All I know are sad souls, sad souls.
Could someone who is a non-sub on Twitch please let me know when the ads start? I think it'll be around about 10 minutes time they start, potentially. If someone could let me know when they start, we're going to jump on over and get the... Thank you, Mathair, thank you. Yeah, we're going to jump on over and get the interview stuff all sorted. And this time I'm going to make sure we've got it right. So we won't be gone for 20 minutes this time. It'll be like hopefully 5, and then we'll be back with the interview. How do I keep my hands steady when I highlight? If you notice, when I'm painting, I've got both of my arms or elbows on the table, and I've also got my hands touching here whilst I'm painting. So the more points of contact you have before touching a miniature, the more steady your hands are going to be. What gold recipe did I use? This is going to be turned into a YouTube tutorial. It's quite hard to just run through every single step of the process. You could message me on Instagram. It's the same as the TikTok. And I can send you the colors. But it's a little bit of a fluid process. Forgive the pun. It's a little bit of a fluid process, as you sort of just need to go back and forth, right? You're looking at people's models that have been in 6 months in the hobby and are awful, and you look at yours and they're so much better. Yeah, look, I mean, painting's not number one for everyone. It would be fantastic if it was. It would be fantastic if it was, Mark, but unfortunately it's not. So for some people, the care factor for how their miniatures look isn't as high as rolling dice. It's just what the hobby is, you know? But it's also what makes it a fantastic hobby. Makes it really good, because there are tons and tons of different areas in this hobby for people to enjoy. Like, it doesn't even need to be painting or gaming. There's just the lore as well. So and a lot of people progress at different speeds. So it's much easier nowadays for people to have access to help with painting. So there's tons and tons of Patreons out there. We've got some tutorials on our YouTube. I live stream every day to try and help people. There's been people in the stream that have like asked for questions here or there on Instagram, and they're basically painting how I do now, and they've been painting for a year. So it took me more than a year to get where I'm at.
I'll take every single piece of the blame if you want me to. But you know that there is no innocent one in this game for two. But I'll go, and then you go out and spill the truth. Can we both say the words and forget this? Yeah. Is it too late now to say sorry? 'Cause I'm Missing more than just your body. Oh, is it too late now to say sorry? Yeah, I know that I let you
The least talked about thing in 40k is the sea-bearing navy of each faction. Would naval warfare really be that big? Would naval warfare be that large? I mean, there'd probably be planets that are, 90% ocean, I guess, but there's gigantic ships in space. I need to blow my nose. I'm just going to mute myself, guys. It's annoying the shit out of me. Oh, it's been killing me.
I was born in a city where the winter nights don't ever sleep. So this life's always with me.
This is a track.
The ice inside my veins will never bleed. Love. Every time you try to fix me, I know you'd never find that missing piece. When you cry and say you miss me, I'll lie and tell you that I'll never leave. But I sacrificed your love for more of the night. I tried to put up a fight, can't tie me down. I don't wanna sacrifice for your love. I tried, I don't wanna sacrifice.
Yo, Static Mud Dude. Thank you very much for the 9-month resub.
I hold you through the toughest parts when you feel like it's the end. 'Cause life is still worth living.
Hey, Sauncey, how you doing?
Life is still worth living. I can break you down and pick you up and fuck like we are friends. But don't be catching feelings. Don't be out here catching feelings. 'Cause I sacrifice.
So, for people over on Twitch, well, I mean, it's everyone on Twitch right now, basically. We've got 3 people on TikTok and 1 on YouTube. So, shortly, we are going to be starting an interview, but I need to go over and make sure all the tech stuff is sorted. And this time, I'm going to make sure it is right. Not like last time. So, hopefully, fingers crossed, I'm only going for like a minute. But I'll jump away once the ads start. So even if you aren't subbed, you don't miss stuff.
So fucking precious when you smile. Yeah. Hit it from the back and drive you wild.
let you know you're mine. Hands on your body, I don't wanna waste no time. Feels like forever, even if forever's tonight. Just lay with me, waste this night away with me. You're mine. I can look away, I just gotta say, I'm so fucking happy you're alive. Swear to God I'm down.
Alright,
If you
I think
down,
we're
gotta say
nearly there with the gold.
anything I could do just
2014 in Middle Earth. Oh no, you've said Little Net's trigger word.
let you know you're fine.
You've said the trigger word.
Circles round my mind. Even when it's rainy, all you ever do is shine. You on fire, you a star just like Mariah. Man, this feel incredible. I'll turn you to a bride. You're mine. Hands on your body, I don't wanna waste no time.
Oh, little booty. You do the booty plate.
Like forever, even if forever's tonight. Just lay with me, waste this night
Oh, Nath.
with me.
Dude, you never guess who our guest is next week.
I can look away, I just gotta say.
Nah, it's Andy Serkis.
Making myself crazy.
Yeah, it's whoever the guy is that's organizing the
Wrote it down and read it out, hoping it would
middle
save
arc
me.
or whatever it's called.
My love, he makes it feel like nobody else, nobody else. But my love
Duncan, imagine. Nah, Duncan ignored me. Lothar, I tagged him in a post.
to myself,
Tagged him in a post and I tagged him in a story saying that we used
up the phone, you know he's
the two thin coats. I got nothing, bro. Nothing. Didn't like my story. Didn't like my post at all. So I think I've done my dash with Duncan. Two thin coats is the worst paint out there. Never use it. Nah, it's actually really, really good. Tagged in 1 million posts a day. Yeah, but not one by me. I don't know. Oh well. You get that on the big jobs.
I keep pushing forwards, but he keeps pulling me backwards.
Damn, I'm painting low. I apologize.
Now I'm standing back from it. I finally see the pattern.
I mean, Darren Latham saw one of my posts. Next Tuesday, yep. You want to co-host? Nice. Duncan probably doesn't run his own page. Nah, I've already started a beef with him. It's too late now. There's beef. There's beef. Alright, ads. Is there ads popping up, guys? Let me know, let me know, let me know. No ads. What? Why does this always happen? Tell my guests like 9 o'clock and now it's 9:01 and the ads haven't happened yet. They're meant to happen at 8:57. I swear. What the frig is the Plus program? Maybe we I can't run an ad, which means an ad's already happened or it's about to happen. Oh, 4 minutes, I think. Should be one in 4 minutes. I think that's what that timer is. 4.5 minutes away.
Furthermore, I apologize for any skipping tracks. It's just the last girl that played me left a couple cracks. I used to, now I'm over that. Cause holding grudges over love is ancient artifacts. If I could only find a note to make you understand, I sing it softly in your ear and grab you by the hands. Keep me stuck inside your head like your favorite tune. And know my heart's a stereo, the only place for you.
Heart's a stereo. The SM2 content, it's alright, man. The new difficulty's good. Very tough if you don't have a bulwark. We had a bulwark last night and we still got pumped in a mission. So it's good. I don't know. They need the horde mode. The horde mode needs to come out.
Let's go. If I was an old school 50-pound boombox, would you hold me on your shoulder wherever you...
So we are going to jump into interview in a minute, guys. I think we've got ads popping up in 3 minutes. When the ads pop up in 3 minutes, I'm going to jump into the Discord call with James and Marvin, and then we should hopefully be back shortly after I switch over the stream. So that's the plan. I just don't want people to miss because of the ads if you are not subbed. It's the only reason we haven't started yet. So just bear with us. It'll be a couple of minutes, I think. You only... Oh, you need to get the 41... Is it 41,000 kills, is it? Got that in my first week. Yeah, yeah, I got a lot done. I got a couple of hours. Oh, ads. Pre-roll ads are disabled for 63 minutes. Does that mean ads are happening now or they're happening soon? Or they've happened? Ads. All right, here we go. Give me a minute, guys. Give us a minute. We'll be back. We'll be back. I'm going to have to turn the music off, though. I apologize. Give me a sec. Interviews. There we go. There we go. That should fix it. All right. So, welcome to episode 5 of the Road to Arc podcast, guys. Today we've got James from James Paints. You can see his Instagram over here on the right. I'll actually just copy and paste that into the chat for people if they want to follow him. You're probably already following him. He's got 20k followers, so there's a very real chance you'll already be following him. We've also got Marvin with us, and we're going to be asking James all about his experiences at Arc and, you know, how we got into the hobby. How you doing, James? How you doing?
Doing good.
I'll just turn that audio down. Love to hear it. Yeah, so I guess for people that don't know, because there's going to be people in chat that I'm sure that know you, but for people that don't know, how did you actually get into the hobby? Are you one of the people that started with Middle Earth? Because that seems to be one of the main ways for people to get in the hobby.
Yeah, I mean, I was a big Lord of the Rings fan as a kid, but yeah, I mean, I don't actually exactly remember how I got into it. I was very, very young, maybe like 7 or 8. I think my grandpa might have bought my older brother one of those little army models of like a Spitfire or something. He was in the Air Force, and that might have been like first exposure to models, maybe just building and stuff like that. Then I think it was just back when there was a Games Workshop in Eastland, like, you know, mum and dad would be shopping or something, and me and my brother would go in there and have a look, and, you know, just really liked it. And yeah, I think I was 8 maybe when Lord of the Rings came out, and yeah, big into fantasy and orcs and dragons and all that, and seeing that stuff, you know, in the shop was cool. And yeah, I think my dad bought my older brother a set of Tyranids, and I went with orcs, 40k orcs. Yeah, maybe at 7 or 8, and that's where it started.
So do you know what
That is
edition
real, yeah.
that was at all? Like 4th edition? Earlier,
Oh,
maybe?
well, I'm 31 now, so yeah, I would have been maybe 8, so maybe 23 years ago. I have no idea what edition. I didn't play until I was a bit older, and I don't think I played correctly, maybe ever. I try to now. I don't even know how.
I'd say there's a large amount of the population that don't play correctly as well. So
Yeah,
me
and my mates used to play on the carpet and stuff, but I don't think we really knew the rules.
Yeah. And so you started with orcs, but obviously now you're a Tyranid. You got tons and tons of Tyranids.
Yeah.
How did that come
Yeah,
about?
so-
Was it because of your brother? Is that what got you into the nids?
I don't. Maybe. I mean, versing him in the game as a kid, it definitely seemed like they were really powerful because he'd cheat all the time. So,
Yeah.
I remember he had the Red Terror, that little model that was like, you know, this big.
Yeah, the
And
Ravener.
in the war, it was supposed to be so much bigger, and so, you know, you'd finally kill it, and it had this rule where it'd fall over and, you know, crush like half your army. So, but yeah, I don't know. I stuck with orcs for a long time, and I think I painted orcs until I was about 13 or 14. Very poorly. I didn't have any skill at all in that regard, and, you know, didn't know about thinning paints or anything like that. So I remember I did enter a painting competition when I was really young, some Young Bloods thing at the shop down in Ringwood.
Yeah.
And I remembered thinking that my model was amazing and that I was going to win for sure. And I didn't win, and I found it many years later, and it was atrocious. So I think it had just about every colour on it imaginable. But yeah, I think probably around 15, I sort of exited the hobby for a while. I was playing drums in a band, and I started MMA. I started competing, fighting. And just didn't really do Warhammer for a little while. And I think you go through that stage maybe as a teenager where, you know, you're like, oh, that's lame or whatever. And then, you know, you get older and you're like, who cares? So, yeah, I think around 18, me and a good mate of mine bought I think I was about 18, the Assault on Black Reach set. And we were like, hell yeah, let's get back into it. And so he painted some Space Marines. I was doing orcs again, and we were back into it for a little bit, maybe a couple of years. Yeah, then I think I faded out of it again for another good few years. Then around 25, I think I was watching a lot of painting videos on YouTube, and I decided that I wanted to try and paint well. Like I'd been interested in art from pretty young as well. I really like drawing and painting. And when I had painted when I was younger for Warhammer, it was more just like, paint models and then try play the game and play the game wrong. But it wasn't, really trying to actually paint well. So probably about 25, I decided, I wasn't interested in the game at all at that point. I had no idea what editions were going on or anything like that. I just wanted to paint some stuff. So I bought some sort of dragon. I think it was like a dark elf dragon or something. And I wanted to paint that to like a really high like display level standard. And so I was just watching YouTube and trying to learn. And I finished that project. I think it was a good like 120 hours or something into that dragon, and it still looks pretty good. It's it's not the best thing in the world, but I think that was my first time really trying to paint artistically. Then I tried to do another dragon, and I think I put over 100 hours into that, and I never finished it. And then I went on a holiday to Vietnam. By the time I came back, the spark for that dragon was gone, and I never finished it. I still have it. Then I just was out of the hobby for a while again. So I've kind of been in it for like a really long time, but I've had a lot of hiatuses.
Yeah.
So about a year and a half ago, maybe 2 years ago, a few of my mates got back into it, and they were like, oh, there's like rumors that 10th edition is going to be more simple and all that. And I think a lot of people jumped back in on 10th. So we're kind of like, let's have a go. And I actually originally it was also seeing what was going on with contrast paints, which obviously didn't exist back when we were younger, and they just looked really easy to use. So I was like, cool, maybe I'll get back into it and we'll play some games, and I'll paint some stuff with contrast paints, and I'll paint them really quick and get an army done really fast. Which definitely did not happen. I ended up sinking tons and tons of time into every model.
Yeah,
but
I was going to say that obviously, we're just scrolling through your Instagram. That obviously didn't happen. When did this?
Didn't last very long.
When did this Tyranid scheme come about? Like, was there
this was
initial test model for this, and then you were just like, yeah, that's it?
Yeah, so I did a test model. I think I did 2 test models basically in the same sort of scheme with a couple of little differences. It was inspired by a scheme I saw on YouTube. I can't remember the guy's name. It's a small channel, but I finally found the video again, and I did save it because I feel like that was my inspiration, and I have shared it every now and again just to, like, I don't want to claim that it was all me that sort of came up with it. Mine did end up very different to his, but it was kind of like a really dark blue skin and purple carapace. And so I did a test model. Mine kind of looked nothing like. I was kind of actually trying to paint it more like his, and it just ended up looking nothing like his. But then I was doing like maybe a gaunt in like 40 minutes or something, like a little termagant, and I wasn't sort of painting to the standard that I currently paint to. Did 10 gaunts, did a few warriors, and then I think I started on my first big model, which was a hive tyrant that I had built maybe like 5 years ago in one of those times where I was back in the hobby. I think I did a few like builds that I never painted. It's a horrible conversion and I hate it. But anyway, I decided I was going to paint that. That was kind of my first big model. Then I would refine things a little on the scheme, and then I would go back and like touch up old stuff. And now it's like 3 hours per gaunt and 100 hours for a Norn or a Tyrannofex or something. So, I think it started with just painting, trying to do things like quick and have them look pretty interesting. And I feel like I did an okay job of that. But then, I don't know, you paint one thing that looks good and then you want to go back and make everything else look good.
Yeah. So when was your first experience with Arc? So we've obviously, for people that don't know, James won last year's Best Painted. I've got the little Instagram post you had there for winning Best Painted. So this is why we're talking a ton about painting. What was your first experience with Arc 40K? And how did you
That
paint
was
it?
my first experience.
So your first
Oh,
experience
really?
was last year, and you won
Yeah,
best painter. There you go.
yeah, I was pretty surprised. Yeah, no, I'd never heard of it. I had never competed in any tournaments or anything like that. A couple of my mates had competed in it in years prior, and they basically said that it was because I'm not very good at the game, and so and we just sort of play casually, and no one really cares too much about winning or losing. And a couple of the guys just said like, this is a tournament. It's a bit more about like painting and lore and having fun, and it's not so much about min-maxing crazy competitive lists. And yeah, I was like, cool, that sounds fun. I had absolutely no idea what it was until I rocked up on the day. I remember the night before finding out that you had to have objective markers, and I didn't have any, so I stayed up till like midnight making these little like glowing brain turtle things
Yeah.
for objective markers. But yeah, I didn't even know anything about it really. I rocked up on the day not knowing where to go and not knowing what to do, and thankfully everyone was super accommodating, and yeah, it was awesome. It's such a cool event. Yeah, loved it. I definitely plan on. Well, I was hoping to go to all events in the future. I actually can't do the Sunday this year. I've got as a job, I'm a powerlifting coach. I coach people for squat, bench, and deadlift competitively, and so I've got a comp on the Sunday, unfortunately, and I won't be able to make it. So, which sucks because I actually was painting some stuff for my army this year, very much with the intent of trying to come back and do well. But I can't remember who I was talking to. I don't know if it was one of you guys. It was on Instagram, but someone said I might be able to come in on the Saturday and judge some stuff, which would be awesome. So hopefully I can still be
You're
there.
probably talking to Dan or
Yeah, he mentioned the same thing to me on the weekend that yeah, he was asking you to do some judging, which would be awesome to see.
Oh, I'd love to. Yeah, if I basically messaged him and I was like, man, like I'm super bummed that I can't come. So is there any way that I can be involved? And yeah, hopefully I can judge. I'll just have to. I'll have to make sure I don't judge any of my mates' armies because I feel like that'd be a little bit cheating.
Well, that's a good way to go into it, to not have a bias.
Yeah.
But I would trust anyone who says something like that to still judge everyone's
Yeah.
army. If you can admit that, that's fantastic.
So
I'm curious.
Some of their armies are really, really good too. So I wouldn't want, and I've probably seen them, more up close. And I think, yeah, in an environment like Arc, maybe you've got a minute or two to look at an army, whereas I've seen like every little detail, and they really are impressively painted. So there'd probably be a bias, even if I tried not to have a bias.
Yeah, that's fair. I'm curious though. So being so long in the hobby, have you still got any of your original models, or have they slowly dwindled over the years?
So I don't have any of my original ones. I think I sold them all on eBay at some point, and they were all absolutely horrendous anyway. They were borderline just dunked in paint. But I do have some orcs from when I came back, 18, 19. I do still have most of those, and they look okay. They don't look like my current stuff, but they're not terrible. And I do still have the dragons that I painted.
Yeah. So do you ever look back at them and see how far you've come since? Ever put like your oldest model and your newest model next to each other, sort of thing?
Yeah. Even looking at although I've updated all the Tyranids for this army, like I've gone back and fixed things, I still have photos of my first like test model and stuff like that. And even just in that year and a half, it's a massive difference. Yeah, I feel like actually spending a lot of time painting and really putting the hours in, notice a huge difference in a really short amount of time.
Yeah.
So, as last year's best painted and someone that paints a heap of one faction, because scrolling to your Instagram, it is just synthwave Tyranid after synthwave Tyranid.
Yeah.
Advice for people that struggle. So there's obviously a lot of people that struggle out there to stick to one project.
Yeah,
it can be a bit of a grind. I think be completely transparent with people too. Be honest. Are there times you're painting the army and you're not loving life? Is there times you're just like, this is not something I'm enjoying, but there is a purpose?
100%. Yeah, there's definitely times where I don't want to paint. I think particularly, I feel like the last 20% of any project, especially before I bought gloves. I paint with gloves now, and if you're painting a project in sub assemblies or fully assembled, if you don't have gloves and you're like 80 hours into holding that model, you're definitely taking paint off, and it's super frustrating. Then like going back and fixing an area, and then you've taken paint off somewhere else, and or you drop a model. It's like so infuriating that you want to quit. That definitely happens. And also, I have had projects where I've just sort of burnt out on and just not wanted to paint. And sometimes it does become a grind. And I guess it's a little bit up to you. Like, I don't think you should necessarily force yourself to push really hard and do something you don't want to do. For me, I don't mind that. I think, yeah, like I said, I coach powerlifting. I've been powerlifting for like competitively for 10 years. And especially doing it drug tested, you really hit a point where you don't really make much progress anymore, and you're working really, really hard for very, very, very little return. And I don't mind that. Like, I don't mind just going through the motions and doing stuff that I don't particularly love for the end result. So yeah, I've had projects where they've become sort of unfun and I'm like not very happy with them. And then in that last couple of hours, especially I feel like when you finish basing a model and then you're like, oh, that actually looks really good now. And maybe even a few hours prior, maybe 90 hours in, you were like, oh, I don't even like this. And then in the last 10 hours, all of a sudden it's something that you're really proud of. So yeah, I mean, for me, I'm happy to stick to stuff even when it's like not my favorite thing to do. But I've definitely gone through that probably with almost every project, especially all the big bugs, because they take so long. So most of them there's been some amount of painting that I haven't particularly wanted to do. And maybe you hold out for like the fun parts, painting like weird. I love the bioluminescent kind of stuff. I love doing OSLs. So I'll sort of like I think I'll sort of stagger my painting where it's like I'll save another fun bit to do.
I was going to ask,
and then I'll do another.
that was going to be one of the questions I asked. So we've got two questions from the chat. My question was going to be, do you break up areas? So I have the same painting marines, and it's not always the same area, but for instance, I'm painting the Sanguinor right now, and the big purity seal ribbons are something I'm not looking forward to painting. I suppose there is a process to it though sometimes as well. Like you're saying, handling a miniature, you might want to paint a certain area before you move on to the next, in order to handle it less. But we've got a question here from Black Sword, and he said you've absolutely mastered purples and blues. Look, I haven't seen many other types of miniatures on your Instagram other than the NIDs. So I guess it's a two-part question. Have you painted anything else recently that wasn't a NID? And if that is the case, are there any colors that you don't typically go near, like whites and yellows? Black Sword has asked.
Yeah, there's no colors these days that I don't like. There was back in the day. I feel like whites and yellows used to be absolutely horrendous and horrible to work with. I don't feel like that's the case anymore. These days, I'm perfectly happy to paint in any colors. I just paint my army because I like it. But I've done a couple of other projects, still Tyranids, but like painting something in somebody else's scheme for like a little event thing or a prize thing for a competition in one case. And I really enjoy doing that, doing something like breaking it up a little bit and painting something else. I haven't painted anything non-Tyranid since I've come back to the hobby a couple of years ago. So that means I haven't painted anything non-Tyranid in probably 6 or 7 years. But I'm perfectly open to doing that, and I would like to. I think initially I was kind of like, I want to get 2,000-3,000 points. I want to have like a flexible enough list that I can not only play games, but I'm not playing the exact same thing every time.
Yeah.
And then I feel like when I probably am at that point now, I'm over 3,000 points now. Probably at a point now where, yeah, I don't like need to paint stuff to be able to play games. So yeah, I wouldn't mind painting something else. I'd love to try some non-metallic metal stuff, just because it looks challenging, but maybe something small, or it'll take a billion hours. But yeah, I don't think I've ever painted a Space Marine in my life other than one airbrush test model many, many years ago when I bought my mate's like half broken secondhand airbrush, and it didn't go very well. So, but I'd really like to paint a Space Marine just because they're so iconic for Warhammer. So I definitely plan on doing that, whether it ends up being some sort of Tyranid V Space Marine diorama or something, or
yeah.
Eventually I might.
Has to make it on there somehow.
Yeah, somehow. I also have some Necrons, and I do plan on painting some up. A couple of my mates play boarding action, and I don't have a list for boarding action, so I've been thinking about doing some Necrons. I don't think I'll do them non-metallic metal. I think if I do another army, I want it to be a not super time-consuming army, although I don't know, maybe it'll end up being like that.
Darren Latham talks about that. Have a passion project, and then have another project that you still enjoy, but you can paint miniatures at a faster pace, so that you do get that progress and you can play with them. We've got another question here from Sauncey, and he has said, do you have a massive Titan bug? And if you do, how do you start something like that? And what standard would you get it to? And I think your standard would obviously match the rest of your army. So that would just be an absolutely insane project.
Yes, I have a massive Titan bug, and that's why I haven't started it. I definitely will be doing it. I've bought a Hierophant Bio Titan. I've done some conversion work on it, some green stuff work. The whole thing's built other than one leg still needing to be pinned. So it's ready to go. The thing I'm most worried about is the base. I feel like it's going to take an obscene amount of time, and I'm going to need to buy a really large base. So I've been looking at MDF board and stuff like that, figuring out what I want to do there. But once I get a base sorted, I will be doing that. I think I'll end up just painting it to the same standard as everything else.
Yeah.
I think it's less detail per square inch, let's say. It's still a very detailed model, but I don't know, when you look at a Neuro Tyrant or something like that, there is an insane amount of detail per square inch. So I don't think it'll take an amount of time proportionate to its size.
Yeah. There's slightly different aesthetic from Forge World as well. So
yeah. So I think my Tyrannofex took me about 100 hours to paint, and I guess the Hierophant's probably 5 or 6 times bigger than that. I don't think it's going to take 500 or 600 hours. I think it might take 200. I think it'll be a really, really long project. It probably is one that I'm going to have to break up.
Yeah.
It's obviously I'm going to paint it in parts, all the legs and arms separate because it's so massive. I'm just worried about the torso of it because highlighting the Norn's torso almost killed me. It was just doing the edge I think it was 25 hours of edge highlighting just on the torso area. And that was killing me. That was put a podcast on and grind out 4 hours and then do it again and again and again. And it was very, very tough to get through.
The Battleforge Gaming podcast.
Obviously, yeah.
So we've got another question here, and you do a lot of OSL. And Static has asked, how do you push your OSL so hard without the fear of it blowing out, if that makes sense? Now, I'm assuming, you've painted a ton of OSL now, so it's definitely a process that sort of comes a bit more natural. When you were first starting, how did you tackle that initial OSL?
Yeah, I think OSL is one of those things that people think you can't really do without an airbrush. I don't think you should wait until you have money to start trying techniques. So I didn't buy an airbrush for a long time. The first OSL I did was on my first squad of Zoanthropes, and I just did it with dry brushing. So it doesn't look quite as good as the others for sure. And it's a little bit trickier because you can get that dusty look. It doesn't look quite as smooth. Yeah. But yeah, I don't know. I love doing OSLs. I don't find them super hard, especially with an airbrush. They don't seem like the kind of thing that's that complicated to me, unless you're doing particularly complicated OSL setups with multiple lights. Or I think really, really subtle OSLs are actually quite hard. let's say you are doing like non-metallic metal armor or something and you want really subtle counter reflections and stuff like that. I do think that stuff is hard and really subtle glazing and stuff like that. The OSLs that in my army are not like that at all. They're really, really like high glow,
Yeah,
which I
it
think
probably
actually makes
suits your army a lot in terms of like that OSL. So it might,
yeah, I think in terms of like painting an army in general, I think it's good to have like at least one color that really does stand out. So for me, that's that greeny sort of turquoise color. Yeah, I mean, if I'm doing them these days, I'll pretty much just airbrush white on the area and try and hit all the areas where I think that color would be hitting from the source.
yeah,
Then I will go in with sort of a glaze consistency, turquoisey, greeny sort of color. I end up mixing it a little bit different every time. I feel like people always ask me like, how do I do this? How do I do that? And I don't have like a super rigid process. I kind of just like, because otherwise I get a bit bored. So I sort of like mix other new colors in each time
yeah,
and see how it goes. But
yeah. It's just naturally
yeah,
grown over time, and you can't tell because there's just a bunch of different models there anyway.
yeah,
So.
they're all greeny or bluey or something. So they're close enough. But yeah, I'll just airbrush whatever color I want over that color. And then I'll go white again through the airbrush in like a very, very concentrated area. And then maybe green, blue again over that. I'll generally go in with a really, really thin, like glaze consistency, blue or purple, depending on where I'm doing the OSL, and just clean up a little bit. I don't have like some crazy, crazy good airbrush. So sometimes there's a little bit of speckling and stuff like that. I'll usually clean that up before I do any of the final sort of highlighting, and just get it looking good enough. And then I just, the same way that I edge highlight things like carapace, I just edge highlight anywhere where the green might be touching. And yeah, it doesn't feel very technical to me. It doesn't feel like it's just, I think because the glow is so over the top, it's not so subtle, so it's not so hard. But as far as worrying about like blowing it out or making it look too bright or too this or too that, I don't really care. I just do it and see how it looks. And if it looks a bit much, I'll just like bring it back a little bit. I make mistakes all the time. Like there's whole areas that I've painted over that I'm just not happy with. Yeah, I just risk it, see how it goes. And if I have to clean something up or airbrush, you can always just airbrush it a little bit darker if it's too bright. Yeah. And I like really, really high saturated OSLs. I don't tend to do them like nearing towards white. So they're not actually that bright. Maybe some of them look really bright, when I'm taking photos in a photo box with a big light on them and all that. But they are like bright, but they're nowhere near white. They tend to be like very, very saturated, which I think also is more lenient. I think the closer you get to white, I don't know, painting white on a model always, I don't tend to use white anywhere really, like pure white, unless it's the tips of teeth or something. I feel like pure white tends to just look a bit funky.
Yeah. We've got another question, which you did sort of already answer. Blacksword was asking, have you got an idea for your Necrons on how you would try and paint them? Because he's asked non-metallic metal. And he said, obviously, not because you want to paint them quicker. So,
yeah.
Have you got, is there
non-metallic.
like, you got a what do they call their what do they call their chapters? Oh, geez, I can't even think. A dynasty. Have you got a dynasty in mind, or are you going to do a custom?
It'd be custom for sure. I don't know enough about the lore and all that. Yeah, like with Tyranids as well. I think right off the bat, I wanted to do something unique. I do know like most of the main sort of Tyranid ones, but I feel like Tyranids are maybe the most flexible army in terms of painting in 40k. They're probably, I think almost every army is somewhat anthropomorphic, even if they're alien. And Tyranids are just really alien. Like they're so out there. I think you can paint them however you like, and they can still look good. So I wouldn't want to be. I think what draws me to Tyranids is that there's not many limitations on what you can do. And I feel like with Necrons as well, I would want to try not to limit myself too much, and try and just paint whatever I feel like. I'll end up looking at a bunch of other people's work for sure, as I do with my Tyranids as well. Yeah, if I have any ideas, non-metallic metal would obviously look the best. I think, yeah, then I'll end up spending just so much time per model. So I definitely wouldn't start doing that. Maybe down the line it'll happen by accident, but I'll attempt not to. I'll probably end up doing, yeah, some sort of dark metal and maybe some like blue tones in the metal, just dry brush it or whatever, and then just do a lot of OSL because I like it. It's fun. So I'll probably, rather than doing the sort of green OSL that I do with the Tyranids, I might choose magenta, purple, pink, that kind. I really like those colors as well, and I use them with the Tyranids when I'm doing these little acid pools on the bases. I find that to be maybe the easiest color to get a really, really saturated OSL. Blue seems to be really hard. I don't know why. Like bluey green is fine, but straight blue I find really hard to get super saturated. Magenta and pink and all that, it just seems so easy to do, and really easy to get it to look good. So I'd probably do, yeah, some sort of metal color, maybe blue in the metal just to contrast with the pink, and then probably pink OSL.
Yeah.
Yeah,
We'll
beautiful.
go back to a bit of arc because that's why we are here.
Hmm.
We've chatted a heap about your
I did
painting.
actually have
Okay, yeah.
one question for
you go. You go. Yep.
you mentioned, obviously do a lot of airbrushing and stuff before, and you started off with the dry brushing first. It's at least what I hear a lot of is that people are quite cautious getting into airbrushing. Obviously, there's a cost aspect. Were you also cautious getting to airbrushing? And is there any recommendations that you would have for people getting into it?
I wouldn't say I was so much cautious because, yeah, I don't really worry so much about making mistakes or painting something that looks bad. You just learn and try again. But I'm nowhere near as good at airbrushing as I am at painting with a brush. Not even close. I'm still nowhere near as good with an airbrush. I would still consider myself very beginner. I stuff up stuff with an airbrush all the time still. I accidentally spatter something somewhere and get really frustrated. And so there is that, and I understand that people are apprehensive with that. I just think that
on that point,
most mistakes.
On that point, because that's a very good point you make, and it's a very hard point to get across to a lot of people that are in the hobby. There are a lot of people that are apprehensive because they do have a fear of failure to the point where they don't even begin.
Yeah.
And I guess this is more just me making a point. It's not even a question. If you look at all the models James has painted to the standard he's painted, and he said multiple times that he has made mistakes and he goes back to fix them. I think that's just a really good thing to take away. If you take anything away from this little interview, is people make mistakes and they just continue. It's all a learning process. I apologize for interrupting there, but I think it was just a very good point you made, that you still stuff up and still continue with your amazing looking miniatures.
100%. Yeah, still stuff up a lot. And yeah, I mean, the old saying goes that people who succeed fail more times than most people even try. So you really have to just give it a go. Like with an airbrush, it might be worth. I did one test model, I think, where I just painted a gaunt with base coats, and then I just airbrushed glowing things all over it to just see what would work and what wouldn't work. But yeah, I mean, if you're worried about stuffing up, you probably will. So just stuff up, and that's fine. And most mistakes can be fixed. And maybe don't if you've worked on a model for 100 hours and then you buy an airbrush and you want to do glowing eyes on its face or something, maybe that's not a good idea for the first time, in case you stuff up something that's really important to you. But yeah, just stuffing up is part of it. And even if you I'm sure there's people way better than I am with an airbrush and with a regular brush. You also just stuff up sometimes, not so much due to painting skill, but yeah, maybe you dropped a model or something, or or your airbrush spat out a bunch of stuff. Sometimes it's out of your control. Mistakes will definitely happen. I think fixing mistakes. I think you just if you make mistakes, just try and fix them, and you'll realize it's not that hard. I think you make a mistake and it looks like it's going to take 5 hours to fix, and it takes half an hour, and you're like, oh, it wasn't even that bad. So
I just think they're an experience to learn from every time. What did you do to make that mistake? How did you rectify it to not make that same mistake again? I still do it today on streams. I'll film a tutorial. We did it with the ultramarine tutorial that came out recently. I think it was the secondary edge highlight I did on the armor. It was just the wrong tone, and I just went back and like I obviously didn't complete the whole model, but I did like a leg, and I was like, this is not the right color. I don't want to lead people the wrong way, so I changed it instead of continuing with the tutorial. So it still happens to everyone. It still happens.
Yeah, for sure.
And if you're
Yeah.
really lucky, your mistake looks better than you intended.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Sometimes
sometimes,
they're
yeah.
happy. Sometimes they're happy mistakes, right?
Yeah, the old Bob Ross, happy
Yeah.
little accidents.
Yep.
Yeah.
Back to Arc. So your first Arc last year. What was, apart from winning the best painted, what was one of the your favorite experiences, or maybe favorite opponents from last year?
Yeah, I can't remember the name of everybody, but honestly, I don't know if I just got lucky or if everyone there's just super chill. But everyone I versed was awesome. Everyone was clearly just there to have fun. You know, no one brought hyper competitive lists, or even if they bought competitive lists, they were clearly intended to be fun. You know, like I think you can have a competitive list that's enjoyable, and you can have a competitive list that's horrible. I don't know if any of you guys ever played Magic back in the day, but you know, I played a little bit back in the day, and you can have really competitive decks that are fun. Then you can have these horrendous control decks where nobody else gets to play really. So yeah, I think Arc was not like that at all. Like everyone was there to have fun, and it was just really fun, just meeting people and playing games and learning. Because I think there's maybe misconceptions that if you have a well-painted army that people think that you're really good at the game. Maybe because you're experienced in some way.
Yeah.
Definitely not the case with me. So it was cool playing with other people and having them sort of help me along the way. I feel like I wouldn't say I'm a good player now. I at least mostly understand the rules now, but even at Arc, I was still like hardly knowing what I was doing. I was just rocking up to give it a go and hoping that people would be very, very accommodating, and they were. As well, like, you know, my army's mostly painted as a display army. Almost all my bases are the wrong sizes. You know, I like really big display bases and stuff like that. I was worried that in a tournament setting, people would be not a fan of that. No one cared. Everyone was just like, cool, whatever, let's have fun. So it was a really, really enjoyable event. I versed. I think it was Shane, who I was speaking to before, who had this Imperial Guard army with a bunch of flyers in it, and it was just super fun to play against. I hadn't versed like big planes and stuff before, so yeah. And I tried to bring like a really, really non-competitive list.
Yeah.
And Crusher Stampede at the time was winning at like a 20% rate or something like that. So I was like, hell yeah, I love, you know, big bugs. I'll bring Crusher Stampede. But it's still actually, I think it did well because it's a little bit of just like a stat check army, I guess, which I hadn't thought so much about. But I think if you have a lot of big stuff, it's still hard to kill. You know, even if the army in a hyper competitive setting would do really badly because people would just outscore you. But I don't know. I really loved the whole thing. I absolutely didn't think I was going to win. I walked around and looked at everyone else's armies, and there was some extremely well painted armies. I knew after the first day that I'd been shortlisted or whatever. Like I think I was in the top 15 or something, and so were two of my mates that I came with. And so we were like, oh, that's pretty cool. Like, and yeah, when they were announcing the top 5. After they said 5th place, I was pretty much like, all right, well, I'm not going to be in the top 4. So, but yeah, I was very surprised to win. It was definitely cool. But yeah, just meeting people, playing games, having fun. It was, for someone like me who has no tournament experience, Arc is like the perfect event. It was just, everyone was just super chill. You know, you don't know this rule, you don't know that rule. It doesn't matter. Like everyone's just having fun and trying to figure it out, and someone will ask their friend, you know, what do you do with this or what do you do with that? Very, very, very beginner friendly. And like I said, I might be okay at painting. I'm absolutely a beginner when it comes to the game. So it was awesome.
That answered a question that I was going to ask, and it was going to be any tips for people that are thinking about going to Arc that have never been. James was a
just
first
go.
Just go. He basically just spelled it out for you as to why it's such a fantastic first event to go to, even if you've never been to an event before.
So you don't need to study or prep, unless
Yeah.
you forget your objective markers.
Um, for people in chat, think of a few more questions because we will wrap it up shortly because we've nearly pushed our way to an hour here. So if you do have any more pressing questions for James, chuck them in chat now. Are there any other events that you're looking to go to at all? Is there anything overseas that you want to go to? I'm sort of setting myself the goal of going to a no retreat because the past two of our past three guests have been to no retreat, and it's something I've wanted to do. Is there any events you any dream events you would like to go to?
The only one that I think of that I want to go to is Arc. I know I played down at General Games in Churnside a bit, and I think they're doing some beginner leagues and stuff like that. I wouldn't mind doing that, but I also I work a lot and I have a lot of other hobbies as well, and I don't have a crazy amount of time for that stuff. I also just don't know heaps about it. I feel like one of the really weird things about having an Instagram page that has a lot of followers, I think people ascribe this idea that you know what you're talking about and that you're super ingrained in the hobby in all aspects. And I'm not really. I watch a lot of YouTube videos with painting, and I talk to a lot of painters on Instagram now just from having the page. But I couldn't even tell you the names of any tournaments overseas or anything like that. I don't really know. But yeah, like I said, I went to Arc having no idea about it and really enjoyed it. So that's sort of the one that I think about wanting to do each year. Other than that, it would just be, I play games with my mates here and there. And if there's little tournaments locally, happy to give that a go. But yeah, I don't know so much about overseas travel or anything like that. I think if there's anything that I could get across to, beginners who are watching, same thing with, do you want to wait until you've got an airbrush before you start doing OSLs or whatever? Or I think I still feel like a beginner most of the time. I'm just a very, very, very patient beginner, and I put a lot of hours in. And I think when you put a ton of hours into something, it looks good. But I mean, I bought a painting lamp a year ago. The first year of painting this army, I was painting in my back room and the lighting is horrible. And so with my mates, there was kind of this running joke that the reason my OSL stuff looks so bright is because I'm painting in the dark. So I've got to compensate. But yeah, I don't really have a ton of fancy gear or anything like that. I don't really know the names of whatever brushes I'm using, and they're not that great. And maybe if anyone else has some recommendations, I could get some better ones. But I just think just start and just give it a go and make mistakes and have fun. And you don't have to have all this fancy stuff or be super knowledgeable. I think if you just enjoy it and your mates enjoy it, then just give it a go and take your time. And I don't think there's anything that I do that the average person can't learn. I don't think I have any, you see some Golden Demon level people that obviously have some inherent intrinsic genetic ability to how they view light and stuff like that. The people who are next level, and probably we're not going to be like that. But I don't paint to that standard. I paint really, really high contrast that looks really good from a foot away and it looks pretty good up close, but I'm not painting anywhere near to the standard of those guys. I think you can get stuff looking really, really good without that innate biological ability that some artists have. I think you can do really, really, really well by just, learning a couple of things, watching some YouTube stuff. Maybe I was watching the stream just before this started, and, you're painting up really close. You can see exactly what you're doing. I think watching stuff like that's really useful. But I think almost everyone can do it if you're patient. If you want to paint a really big model and you're going to put 3 hours into it, of course, it's not going to look insane. And if you want to do that, that's fine. Some people love playing the game, so they want to paint stuff really quick and just get it looking good, and nothing wrong with that at all. But if you do want to get something to look really good, at least for me, I think you just have to spend the time and just, it's a slow process.
Yeah. Yeah. As someone says in our stream, trust the slowgress. Trust the slowgress. Yeah. It's you're obviously a phenomenal painter. And I think it's just one of those things. you put the time in, you put the effort in, and the will and the drive to want to improve. And you can get to a point where you are content with your painting. Like you said, with the powerlifting and stuff, you get to a plateau, and sometimes you're happy with your plateau. You might be happy where you're at. You don't need to push it any further, but it does just come down to the absolute time and effort that you put into your miniatures. I'm sure when you first started, like you said, your OSL wasn't where it was now. It was dry brushed. Your edge highlights probably weren't as consistent as they are now, but
Definitely not.
the more you paint, the better it gets. And in terms of you saying that you sometimes don't know what you're talking about, I feel like in this hobby, if you do chat to people and try and help them with their hobby, I think sometimes you can have a little bit of imposter syndrome where you feel like you don't know what you're talking about because you are comparing yourself to people that, paint Golden Demon and stuff like that. And I often just think, I know what I'm talking about when it comes to my stuff. And I'm sure you know what you're talking about when it comes to your stuff. So, I think you should have confidence with your being asked your questions and the brushes. People might just enjoy the brushes that you use and they want to replicate what you're painting. So, if you give them
and
advice,
like
then they can't go wrong, right?
Yeah, and I don't feel a sense of imposter syndrome or anything like that in terms of I never feel bad about my work or anything like that. I do think that my stuff looks good. I'm always happy with it when it's done. But I mean, that's another good point. Finish your projects, because I've had projects that I've really hated and thought they looked terrible, and you get to the end and they usually look pretty good if you've spent the time. So it's not that I think that the stuff that I do looks bad. I usually think it looks good. I just think that it's not that talent intensive, I suppose. I think it takes a lot of time and a lot of patience, but I really think the average person can do it. I don't think it's some crazy impossible thing. I think when you first start, obviously your first model's not going to look that good, and you can look at somebody else's stuff and just be like, wow, that's just impossible. I can't do that. Maybe that's the case for insanely high level stuff. I feel like you can get to a pretty damn high level with not a ton of skill. Like you learn stuff and you learn what colors look good together and you just spend the time. So yeah, I think it just takes a lot of time.
Yeah. So we've got one last question here, and Heresy for Heretics makes a good point. It takes a lot of effort to make something look effortless, which is really, really good. Sauncey is asked, was it an easy choice with your basing scheme? I know that someone having a contrasting base as opposed to the thematic ones to match their models. So yeah, your bases obviously match your models, like they tie in very well. It's not hyper contrasting because it's using the same sort of color palette. How'd you come up with the basing scheme?
Yeah, well, I guess the scheme in general, it was partially inspired by the movie Annihilation. I love cosmic horror stuff. I loved that sort of rainbowy, shimmery, bioluminescent looking stuff. I like the idea of things looking very alien. Like I don't use any metallic components anywhere on the bases. If something's standing on like a pipe or a brick or something, I always chop it off. A lot. I think I actually started out with my bases looking quite different. They were much more just grey. They were sort of just grey, sort of stone-looking bases. And I started using those little alien tufts. I just bought them at the shop and thought they looked cool and gave them a go. It was about halfway through my army that I started, doing that sort of green-coloured base. And I guess the idea was just that I wanted the Tyranids to look as though they were on the kind of planet that they would have evolved on. And I figured if they're supposed to be bioluminescent, if they're you would imagine that they would have to be out of camouflage, I guess. So I just started. I think the first time I did it, I literally took every primary contrast paint that I use, which was like Leviathan purple, Leviathan blue, Eldari emerald, Croxagore scales, I think it was pretty much that. I literally just dumped them all over the base, just like splotched them on, and then just dry brushed a bit of like grey green over it, and just having all those colours sort of congeal together. Yeah, I figured I'll just put all the colours from the model onto the base and see how it looks. And I really liked it. I thought it looked way better than the grey. So I've gone back and updated almost all of the bases from my older stuff. Actually, still haven't finished all of them yet. But yeah, it kind of was just an accident. I think my Neurotyrant was the first model that I did that on. Just started putting different colors on the base and having a go. But yeah, high contrast bases are really cool. I think unfortunately my scheme would be a bit messy with that. It's already got quite a few. Like starting out, I wanted it to just be the dark blue, dark purple with the high contrast edge highlights and like a single bright bioluminescent color. Already I've kind of introduced using bright pinks and stuff as well. I think introducing another contrasting color would definitely be too much. Sometimes I already wonder if it's a little too much. So
No, I think they're perfect,
yeah,
my dude. I think they're perfect.
yeah, thanks, man. But yeah, so for me, having less contrast on the base, I think was better. And I guess it made sense from the perspective of them being aliens or whatever. But I think if you're only using sort of one or two colors primarily, then maybe a high contrast base would look better. But it'd probably be a bit too many colors for mine.
Yep. Awesome. Well, I think that brings us to the end, guys. Thank you very much for joining us, James. Thank you for your time. I appreciate it. And you too, Marvin. Thank you very much.
Right.
If anyone has missed this stream, I know I didn't ask a few questions because they already got asked during the stream. This will be re-uploaded on to YouTube for everyone to watch. And next week, we're going to be joined by the person that's running the Middle Earth. So, yeah, that'd be fantastic. So, yeah, again, thank you very much, James. Thank you, Marvin. We will switch back over to the normal stream and I'll say goodbye to you guys in the other area. All right. We'll be back in a sec,
Cool.
guys. See yous.
Thanks for having me.
All right. We are back. We are back. We're going to get into some Space Marine 2 now. I obviously need to unlock my face cam because that's not what I look like. That's what I look like. All right. Yeah, we're going to get back into some Space Marine 2 here. So I'll just alter some of this stuff. I'll jump into this chat here. Yeah, James was a fantastic chat. Hey, he was very, very good. He was phenomenal. If you're there, Nath, jump into Space Marine, would you? Big Hoss. And we'll do Road to Arc tomorrow. Because I know some people did some Arc stuff, which looks phenomenal. All right. Let's put this here. Open up this. Thank you very much for the follows as well, guys. I did hear a bunch of follows popping off while we were in the stream. I obviously couldn't get round to saying thank you for it during the stream. Yo, long time, my guy.
Yeah, I know, right? Jeez, it's been ages. We got a third, do we?
I don't know. I think Nath might have gone to sleep.
Sleepy boy.
Also got a wombat or maybe an ash. Is there a Warhammer ash there?
Hiding in the shadows.
Oh, I might have to put this aircon on. I tell you what. Actually, I'll just open the window. Steamy in here.
Yeah, it was quite hot today. It's gonna be hotter tomorrow. Though.
Yeah, I know. I just normally I'll have some sort of cooling on in here, but because we've got the interviews, I didn't want to ruin it.
Yeah. Suffering.
Just gonna pack his paints up. There we go. We got a Nath.
Okay.
Fantastic. All right, so we failed last night. I'm suggesting we get retribution. I said it right. To that guy on YouTube, I said it right. Who I was the Vanguard, wasn't I? Yes, I was Vanguard. You were Bulwark.
Yeah, right. You swapped at the very end and you didn't get a chance to swap back weapons wise.
Yes. I think our major issue was we weren't the same chapter.
Oh, of course.
Major.
Absolutely. 100% agree. Wasn't a skill issue, it was a chapter issue.
The suffering for audio quality is real. Yeah, right, Static. I know, man. Yeah. I mean, it probably wouldn't have been that bad, but like, I would just prefer not to, right? Especially if it's something we're loading up onto YT.
YouTube. Yeah. Oh wait, did I say? I said the naughty words for other streaming.
It doesn't matter. Fuck TikTok. No. All the love. TikTok number one. Yeah. All right, surely we can do this. Dude, we were so annoying, especially in the last area. I hate failing in the last area. It's the worst.
Yeah.
The worst. And for people that were here for the painting earlier, the painting will be back tomorrow. Don't worry, 8 p.m. We'll I think we'll actually finish that gold off, which would be sick.
Beautiful.
Yeah, we'll move on to the other details.
Like the face.
Yeah, like the face. Yeah. All right, so what chapter do you want to go? We're gonna go Death Watch, or
Yeah, we can do Death Watch.
all right, because I think that's the major issue was we just were not the same chapter, right?
No, it didn't have a cohesive chapter.
Yeah. So we sucked. Let's get that bad boy on there. Let's get that bad boy on there.
Alright.
Oh, I've got one. Oh, no, I don't.
It's trouble.
It's when am I the last one in?
Yeah, I know. You're normally there with bells on, aren't you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sometimes I get a bit too eager.
All right, there we go. Ain't no way we can fail now if we're all part of. You hear what we're doing? We're all Death Watch, my dude.
Are we? Does it matter what faction part of Death Watch or just?
No, as long as you got Death Watch, you just gotta have Death Watch.
Look at that sword.
Careful what you say.
Why?
It's
No,
easily just.
no, don't do that. You're not. I'm kicking you.
It's Death Watch. It follows the rules of the game.
No,
I
technically
like
you
Death
should
Watch.
be all black, my dude. I probably shouldn't say that.
Switch.
So who's going what?
It's retribution. We're repeating same mission, same classes.
Was I tack? I feel like I was having a shit time last night as tack.
I don't think you attack.
I feel like I was tack with a stalker and it was just going horrible.
Oh yeah, maybe.
I was. It was one of those games.
Attack's the best with the stalker though.
It is. But I don't know, parries were off, like getting like kicked while knocked down, loose goal contested. It was just one of those nights. Getting tackled. That's
There should be a maintenance. I don't know. Got no idea.
Let's just ignore it if it says there's maintenance.
You on your way in, big hoss?
Loading game logic.
Was this a red scorpion?
Yeah.
This is a red scorpion?
It's a red scorpion.
That's sick.
Click join game, and then it just doesn't join your game.
Today from 11 a.m. till midnight. I don't know. We're in. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, there might be potentials when we go on the
You mean 11 p.m. to midnight?
See you, Static. Take it easy, my dude. I don't know. We're only going to try and get one op in anyway. Narthesium maintenance takes priority. You're a tech marine, bro. What do you know about organics? Not a tech marine, sorry. You're a tech priest. Tech priest. Here we go. This is it. Yo.
Yo.
Put a Deathwatch shoulder panel.
Oh,
Gee, someone wasn't listening.
You don't have to go full black. I just need a Deathwatch shoulder pad. That's why we failed last night. A Brutalis holding a Nemesis Dread Knight sword. That would look alright. They're a lot bigger. I remember people used to get the sword and put it on the regular dreads, and it was a bit wild. Hey. Rumors are there is an apothecary class coming, Zombie Unicorn. Rumors are it's probably one of the first classes coming. I mean, Bulwark can heal, but
2026.
it is currently the in 2026. It's currently the Bulwark is currently the only healer, which is a little bit rough. On the higher levels, it's basically an auto include. I feel, unless it's the first two missions. You know, first two missions you could probably get away without a Bulwark.
Actually, doesn't attack have?
Well, actually-
oh, okay. 30% more health.
Nah, that's bullshit. That is a bullshit. The thing where it says you get
If, like,
30%.
not run a 4.
No, it doesn't work like that. It's so they removed the ability to heal more than you got damaged. Because you remember the heavies used to do it with the multi melter. They were
Yeah,
immortal.
you can never lose health.
Yeah, they were immortal.
Yeah.
Yeah, you still kind of can do that. Yes.
Boom.
Boom, boom.
Oh, that's a juicy little.
On a cheeky nade. You got a dude coming after you, Marvin. He's trying to stab you in the booty.
How rude.
I'm just gonna go check over here for a guardian.
How
Has anyone checked for the seed?
Not yet.
Well, hopefully I can check for the seed and we can skip these. No.
Let me execute this one,
elevator.
please.
I'm beelining to the elevator.
Pretty
This is on
idea.
this is on absolute zombie. Let's go lift. We don't need this. No. The part that sucks is we were too fast, and now we're gonna have extremists at the top of this elevator.
It'll be fine.
You got an Auspex, Hoss?
Take down that barrier.
Maybe.
Lead the heretics to those Xenos.
D.
Hey, there's nothing. Not even a swarm.
Don't say that.
Tyranid slime marked. Finished and ready.
Okay. Guardian.
Nice. Yeah, the voice lines are pretty sick. Is that cracks? Yeah, baby. Actually, give me that. Give me that. I said, give me that.
Good Zoan.
Kobe.
Clicker on me.
Oh, baby.
Oh, licked up.
Cop that. Hold that, buddy.
I think he rigged out because I was tackling a gauntlet.
Ah, I got a bloody crack grenade on a Zoan. Whoa. Get out of my face. I'm surrounded. Give me a crack grenade. Give me a crack grenade. Give me a crack grenade. Yeah, free crack grenade, baby. Parry's not working. Parry's not working. Parry's legit not working. What the fuck?
I won't be able to get you off that.
That's fine. I got this.
I'm throwing frags as far as I
Hang
can,
on.
but
I'm good.
no.
I don't know, man. It's one of those. You know, I was, in all fairness, I'm running around with a balanced combat blade. Do you guys get the stims at the bottom?
No, I haven't checked yet.
It'll 100% be there. Don't all specs yet. Bro. Oh my god. Dude, what happened to my fucking health? Yo, what the fuck am I getting hit by here?
Oh damn! I'm coming. Behind you, there's
Don't say spore mines.
Nah. Here we go. You want to take this guy?
Yeah.
Am I just soloing a Carnifex?
Yeah, because we've got warriors up here, dude. I told you not to.
I'm stuck in a wall. What the hell? I'm stuck. I can't.
We'll,
It's killing
right?
me. Who's
Really
killing me?
fake there.
Oh no.
Fuck.
I can't get
I
out.
was a fucking Ravener? Bro. For fuck's sake.
Oh, small mines fucking got me. That's cool. The small mines were inside the kind of so
shit.
I had no time to react.
No, fuck off, you dog. I needed that.
There's a single spawn mine coming through.
What the fuck is Nate doing?
I don't know, bro. I'm stuck. I don't know, like in a nade or something, trying to unblock me.
No, I've got to go get. I've got to get Marvin.
Oh,
I'm going down here.
I'm looking at that.
Fuck's
Can't roll
sake.
anything. I can get
Well, we're
myself
dead.
up. No, I can get myself.
Nate's got to die. We're not going to be. He needs to die.
Yeah, I need to die. Like that's what I'm saying. Something you need. Something slowly shooting me. But I need to go down to get a res.
Yeah, spore mines are.
Alright, I'm poisoned.
Oh, yeah.
This should kill me, hopefully. Never mind. Armour went all
Alright.
back.
Yeah, I was really unlucky. I didn't see them because I came through the Carnifex from behind.
Alright, I'm down.
Do we risk picking him up or just let him bleed out?
Surely.
I mean, he's pretty jammed in there.
Worst case scenario, just quit and rejoin.
I can jump out of it. Oh, you're in the air.
Oh no! Oh! I can't.
Yeah. He's out. He's out. It's all good.
Never had that happen to me before. Pretty good for 3/4 soloing a Carnifex. Oh.
Sorcery and blasphemy. Flesh-bound meddlers! Your false.
Go grab that skin, Justin, and I'll banner you both.
You ready?
Lies and deception. The changer
Ready?
of ways shall never be
Thank you.
enough of repulsiveness. Traitor of your death. He left minions to protect his blasphemy.
Fuck.
Destroy them all. Together, brothers, we must cast out the blasphemous sorcerer. Show the heretics our will is stronger. We will prevail.
Stupid mission where I gotta.
And return to the fray. Smash the altar.
Oh, Beyblade.
See that sorcerer. Ultima stands triumphant over your petty gods. You shall drown in the endless immaterium.
Oh,
Where is he?
Canvas for the changer of ways. Prove him wrong. We do not bask in minor victories. The dawn of 1,000 suns lie before us.
I'm looking out.
This makes you want to
I
play.
I
Nah,
hate
you don't need
so
sleep.
much.
You don't need sleep.
That to me.
Yep.
There's only one.
It came from a weird spot. Maybe the other one's on the other side of the door.
It was at a difficult angle. It was at a difficult angle.
Are you running Instigator or Melter?
Instigator.
Instigator, yeah. Popping off those headshots.
We don't. There's not the gaunts. Like. Yeah, I just need something that can take a Majoris.
And then there.
Let us drop in and give the hive devourers something to feast upon. Swapping out magazine. Ordnance on me.
I know we're meant to run through the cultists, but I just need to shoot him sometimes, man.
Oh,
Oh, yes, please.
oh, not that nice.
Strike the altar, and it shall surely crumble. It was only a battle of time.
Who wants those stims?
Man cannot stay to watch the carnage.
Marvin, maybe.
No time to
I won't
enjoy the
say.
show, brothers. We must breach the cathedral.
We can go the. Who gets the elevator?
Other one's chasing close behind.
Hit them, bastard!
That's what you get, brother. Just gonna wait a sec.
Alright.
Let's go. Nath just literally runs out there.
Took so many shots.
That's not what I meant.
Tyrannocyte spores! A just fate for the heretics! Trains of filth do not even deserve to become Xenos fodder.
Oh, they're still down there.
It's funny the Terminator's so nimble. Yeah, it's wild, hey.
All specs primed.
What the shit?
Where's my super suit? There it is. Oh, that's a good name. Oh, and a melter.
I'm never gonna get these kills with the grapple, am I?
You can get in a few. Small mines.
I'm going the other way.
That's a lot of dudes.
The fight between the Nids and the T-Sons is happening right at the door. It's not even up the staircase. Tons of bloody spawn line.
Yeah, we got rubrics behind.
Yeah.
Yep. This guy should be one shot.
Swapping out magazine.
You can use your rifle.
One down. Brilliant.
Someone else want that melter there? I get one back if I kill someone.
I can take the bug.
If I kill 10 dudes.
I'm also bulwark, so I ain't touching it.
They've fixed it, I think.
Oh, have they? Oh,
Yep. I think they finally fixed it. We'll probably have some extremists here in a sec. Real sorcerer.
Finally come. Another one. Awesome.
Are you fucking kidding me?
Far out.
There's 2 sorcerers. Take this one out first. He's low.
Oh, big man. Yes, far out. Yeah. Oh, right here. Fantastic.
double.
Oh shit. Sorry.
Do we want to get you guys to heal on these guys?
I'm happy to go in and grab an execute.
Yeah, there's a few executes there, so if we
That
want
should be
to...
one
Okay.
tap.
Okay.
Ready?
They're going to have heavy bolt rifle.
Oh, really? More?
Shh. Oh my lord.
I might have thrown grenades.
I'm dead. Down.
Other.
That Termi was scared. That's why I asked.
grappling.
Everything you see in the doorway is all that's left.
Then Satan, just a cog in its master's backs.
That's just flipping skulls coming your way.
Oh my lord, sorcerer's down.
Fight the worthless gods.
Alright.
Sketchy.
Indeed.
Good to go.
Sketchy.
Pace of these machines grates
Gonna
on
use a banner when these guys spawn in if we're on a
Yeah,
group up.
yeah.
hook available.
They're on us.
Ahead. Beautiful, not too bad.
I was wrong to expect a better fight. Just set. Finish that bastard, or you have more to do. Closing the gap.
Raven Guard helix, yeah. Normally I go full Raven Guard, but you lose games if you're not all on the same team. You know?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Maybe.
I got a stim.
You got a stim? Oh, you should
Yeah,
use it.
yeah. Oh, I can, yeah.
What needs grappling?
What needs grappling?
The warp's tendrils creep through. My Auspex is registering interference. We are close.
What's the big boo-boo?
I can get another one if I kill 10 dudes. So,
I'll grab it. Oops.
Oh, ah!
Oops, that's right.
Thing dies first.
I wanted the ammo and it swapped back.
Demon host. Those shrines should be kept in battle.
yeah, there it is.
Lord, how many shots? Far out. Is this guy invincible? I did that. Just
Sorry. Oh shit. Oh shit.
That'll turn me on me.
The demon host attacks.
You.
Stay in it, stay in it,
Wow.
stay in it. Stay in it. Ugh.
I just lost.
Where's the
health.
sorcerer?
Oh shit. It just blasted me.
It's over there.
It hurled fire at us.
Nice.
Swapping out magazine. We have sacked the traitor shrine.
Oh, that's
the execute knife. Never mind.
Oh, sorry, I already shot it. That's fine. I'm sure there'll be another one.
Degenerate bastard.
Oh,
I got it.
We'll have to come back for that one. I will hold this one. Demon is taken. That shrine is almost vulnerable.
Shit.
yep, that works.
It strikes at us. Rebel just set.
Oh, it's gonna hurt.
Adios, amigos.
Even after death and battle, disrupting this unholy fusillade.
Taking it like a madman.
Didn't even see that. Past my own shock.
Source, capture and defend. Cannot finish it just yet.
Man.
It strikes at
You got a banner? No.
Nah. I just used it on Ace.
severing its binding.
This is no good.
War fire incoming. I just step back.
Oh, I'm dead.
Yeah, I'm not in a good spot either.
Yeah, I'm running off for a little bit.
I wish I could run off.
Going to kill you soon enough.
It's also it's on me. It's boy.
I'm dead. Oh shit.
Hell out of here.
Mate, that demon host is going nuts with those sprays.
Oh yeah.
Full convening.
You got some ghosts behind you.
Yeah, I'm
Yep,
fucked.
Marvin.
I.
Where's your banner at? Pop it. Pop that health.
Yeah. Wait, did you go down?
Yeah,
Oh,
I'm
lost.
dead, dude.
We're
Yeah.
dead.
Fusillade.
You gotta go on the banner. Dude,
Yeah.
you're gonna have to just go on the banner.
Give it. Perfect.
Oh my lord.
Get out the way.
The demon host is impervious.
I have stood in that for a bit, dude, so...
Power.
Yeah.
Not for that long, though.
I will hold this one. Seek cover.
That's not a good start.
Pulling back for a moment.
But, oh, God. You just would stop with those bloody mortars.
Twice. 2 times in a row.
That is twice. Oh man, that was brutal.
I think I need a melter for that. Stalker, I'm just getting overwhelmed. I just can't deal with all those angles and everything.
Bolt pistol takes care of angles, but I mean, you pick the weapon you want to take in there, you know?
Ooh-wee.
Anyone got time for retribution?
Yeah.
Oh, I gotta get to bed. I gotta get up at 5.
All right. That is the end of tonight's stream. On a loss again, guys. On another loss. Wild. We'll be back tomorrow at 8 p.m. Australian Eastern Daylight Savings Time. Yeah, that's a bit of a shame. Again, so close, yet so far. So close. Anyway, all right. Yeah. Hope to see you guys tomorrow at 8 p.m. We're going to continue work on the Sanguinor, but we are also going to play some Space Marine too. So, yeah, we're going to do the same mission. We're going to do the same classes. We're getting a win with them. It's going to happen. It's going to happen. See you guys.
Bye.